What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Strung Out, and we're back for the bonus track, thrown onto the end of the original release of Suburban Teenage Wasteland Blues, 1996. And once again, big shout out to Polly, and after this we'll be on to the album of theirs I actually had many years ago. Where is it now? It's somewhere over here. There it is, Twisted by Design. So yeah, looking forward to reconnecting with that album now with a greater understanding of what Strung Out had done before that. Not a complete understanding. Again, the skinny years before they got fat, before we got fat as it's titled. I haven't yet gone back to that, but again, having now gone through a couple albums, I have more of a sense for who they are sonically, and recently I've been trying to really key in on the lyrics even more than before. Nevertheless, like I said, I did want to give a big shout out to Paulie as well as, Ryan and others who've commented. If you didn't know, part of the reason I haven't been back to this in I think it's a little over a week now, I started going through a couple other punk bands recently, a couple Canadian bands, Bombs Over Providence, a sort of one-off group that seemingly only put out one album. And then I've also just started going through material from the Vapids, though I found out after doing the first reaction that the album I'm going through, Teenage Head, is a tribute or cover album of another Canadian and earlier punk band, Teenage Head. So, bottom line, been doing some different punk reactions, just trying to go through everything, so I appreciate the patience. But we're up to Jacqueline, the bonus track included on this version of the album from Volume 1, the compilation. And yeah, it's a single word title and it's a name. I've mentioned those are both particularly difficult to get at. Jacqueline, I don't know, I guess there are some famous people in history and also, literature and fiction named Jacqueline, but on the surface of it, nothing stands out as a particularly likely candidate. Say that 3 times fast. But yeah, ultimately, let's find out what it is. This is Strung Out, the track is Jacqueline, and it's a bonus tune included on a expanded version of their 1996 album, Suburban Teenage Wasteland Blues. Smoke coming out behind me. An absolutely rocking tune. Another one where I'm only catching bits and pieces, or something about pictures, and then there was something about I think a young girl. I'm not sure which, that could be Jacqueline, but I'll look up in a moment. But honestly, the vocals in that one really stood out to me. I love the passionate, like it wasn't just like forceful singing. There was like an emotional passion to it, and it made me think like of some of the vocals that I am familiar with from Twisted by Design, which Too Close to See more than any others. There's some moments in that song where he like really like sings very passionately, and it was sort of reminding me of that. So it feels like appropriate in that. If that's not the first tune, I think it's pretty early on in the album. So in fact, I think it's the first track. So yeah, it feels like that's a nice transition leading into the next Strung Out reaction. So once more, shout out to Pauly. Let's look at the lyrics really quickly. I always should like, I don't like looking at stuff beforehand, but then I get to this point and it's like, oh, you'll have to wait while I like look this up. I should really have it open already. Regardless, I do apologize. Let's see what the world of the internet says about it while my computer decides if it wants to work. Okay, so a warm Dallas breeze. A warm Dallas breeze floats naked through the air as a million hungry faces watch the king in his parade. Oh, so this. I mean, one of the people I thought about was Jackie Kennedy, and so this looks like it's really going to be about Jackie Kennedy and being. Oh man, Jackie died. The king had been forsaken and his country died in 3 seconds that would last an eternity. Oh man, I wonder what you could be thinking now. Next up, your little head has been left alone in a world so cold, just a footnote in a history book. You're such a good girl, keep smiling, make him happy. Oh, this is like the way this is written. I apologize. The website I was looking at had it like written in a very weird way. You knew the world would never be the same. The killer in us, all just victims of ourselves, looking for the perfect death. Tigger happy? It shouldn't be Trigger. Happy patriots running from our past. You knew it would never be that way again. Jacqueline, I wonder what you're thinking now. Yeah, bottom line. Oh, such a cute little girl. Fairy tale has been on a storm that would never shine. So yeah, basically it feels like it is about the Kennedy assassination and the way that Jackie O was sort of immortalized in that moment. I mean, obviously she was already a very prominent public figure, but yeah, that's, for certainly a generation of Americans and even people who were born well after it happened. I was born in the 80s, like more than a decade later, almost 2 decades. It's sort of this indelible moment in American history, and that like image of her like scrambling to, like grab her wounded husband and so on. That definitely is sort of like stained into cultural history. So yeah, it sounds like it's an analysis of like what that would have been to her relative to her connection to her husband, her place in the country, what it meant for her husband to be killed that way, and so on. So again, it's like I feel bad because I was like, oh, no candidate really stands out. The first one that I had thought of was Jackie O, and I didn't say that, so I'm now lamenting that. But again, I'm really enjoying this journey through Strung Out. So shout out to Pauly, made all this available, and it's not just Volume 1 anthology. We have like multiple albums to go after that. So once again, big shout out to you. Let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Peace.